Hey guys, what's going on, dudes? It is David here. We are back with another video. Now, in this video, guys, we shall be discussing some NASCAR news that has come out in the past couple of days. Now, when it comes to this news is kind of already big considering it's only been 1 day or 2 days since, well, the news got announced yesterday, but so I guess that means it's only been 1 day since the news got announced, since the NASCAR season officially finished, with Kyle Larson becoming the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series champion. And I just wanted to say this. The first big news that we're going to be getting off to is going to be SMI buying Dover Motorsports. Now, if you don't know who SMI are, SMI are Speedway Motorsports Incorporated. They basically own Atlanta, Bristol, Charlotte, Kentucky, Las Vegas, Sonoma. They own all of those tracks. And now they have bought Dover Motorsports, which is an independently owned company that own Dover International Speedway and Nashville Speedway. Now, what does this mean for the future? Well, the deal is worth $131.5 million. So what does this mean for the future in NASCAR? Well, this makes it easier for Speedway Motorsports able to bring back a track like the Nashville Fairgrounds that they've been wanting to bring back, considering they're already in the Nashville market. They have Bristol, they have Nashville Speedway now. They're making it kind of easier for them to bring it around. But also a big part of the reason why Speedway Motorsports did buy Dover and did buy Nashville Speedway is because Speedway Motorsports doesn't really have a lot of short tracks, which is kind of what the NASCAR market is moving to. It's moving to a lot more short tracks and road courses. I mean, they do have Sonoma and they do have Bristol, but besides that, they have a lot of intermediate tracks, not very good intermediate tracks. They have Texas. Nobody really likes Texas, and most of the races that they watch at Texas are probably boring. That's why they gave Texas All-Star race in NASCAR Cup Series season. And then they have Kentucky, which is no longer on the schedule. And when Kentucky got put in the schedule, I really didn't think it was that much of a good race. It's kind of a weird track. And the fact that it's not on the schedule anymore means a lot of big things about compared to the other tracks that they still have, because they're repaving Atlanta. They moved the second Charlotte race to the road course, so they do have the Charlotte road course. So they do technically, in fact, have 2 road courses, but really they only have one with the actual road course in Sonoma. So this means that Speedway Motorsports, besides the fact that they can bring in a track like Nashville Fairgrounds, they already own They already own North Wilkesboro Speedway, so they've already talked about bringing that track back. So they're trying to get into the market of buying like companies that have kind of short tracks, and Dover Motorsports is really one of the only independent owned companies that was just sold. Obviously, the SMI. I think the only 2 that are really independently owned, I think, are the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which is obviously that's obvious, and then I think also Pocono's independently owned. So that's another market. And I really don't think they're going to tap into Pocono market, because a lot of people that watch NASCAR doesn't really like the races at Pocono Speedway, because Pocono track is just a very weird track, and the races are just basically down to, a lot of the races at Pocono are down to fuel mileage, so not really many people at the Pocono Speedway are actually going to get into this. But in terms of this deal for the future of NASCAR, I mean, it's going to be a very big thing, because this means that SMI can basically get rid of Dover. They can basically get rid of Nashville. I highly doubt they're going to get rid of Nashville. But this means that they can get rid of Dover and put in Nashville Fairgrounds, or put in North Wilkesboro Speedway, or put, like I said, Nashville Fairgrounds. They can take out Nashville Speedway for Nashville Fairgrounds, even though I highly doubt that. But still, that be getting rid of a super speedway track for a short track. So maybe that is actually kind of possible. But we'll just have to see when it comes to the future of SMI. In further NASCAR news, they have announced that the Busch Clash at the Coliseum will be taking place 2 weeks before the Daytona 500, and they've officially revealed the format for this race. Now, I went through all the details, and I have all the details written down here right in front of me on how the Clash will be participating and how every driver will get into the Clash. Now, practice and qualifying will be 1 hour practice and single car qualifying, which is the usual thing in NASCAR. It'll be 40 cars, which is down from what the original Busch Clash is, which is only, I think, at least 23, from the pole winners to the race winners from last season, and I think past winners of the Busch Clash. So this means that there are going to be 40 cars vying to make a 23 car field for the main event. Now, how do you get into the main event? Well, the top 4 from 25 lap heat races will automatically advance into the Busch class. The top 4 from each make it into the Busch class, like I just said. Then 5th through 10th make it into a 250 lap last chance qualifier races. The top 3 in the last chance qualifier races move into the Busch class, along with the highest finishing driver in points from this past season that did not make it in the last chance qualifier. And that would mean that would set up 23 cars and a 150 lap main event on FS1. Keyword, FS1. The qualifying and the practice is going to be on the main Fox network, and the race is going to be on FS1. I guess I don't really know what NASCAR is really trying to do here, because you kind of would think it would be the other way around, with practice qualifying being on FS1 and then the main event being on the Fox Sports channel or Fox in general. But the fact that they're going to have practice qualifying the main channel and then the 150 lap race and the qualifiers and basically the heat races on FS1, that just doesn't really make any sense. But I mean, looking at this format is there's gonna be a lot of laps run at this course, and what I'm expecting from this race is a lot of junk cars. It's being built at the Coliseum currently right now, the LA Coliseum where the Rams used to play. I think, the LA Rams used to play before they built the new SoFi Stadium. So, yeah, I'm expecting a lot of crashes, and I'm expecting a lot of junk cars for this race. I expect a lot of teams to only build a car for this specific type of race. Remember, it's 2 weeks before the Daytona 500. So if they got a clean car, which is going to be highly doubtful after this race, they'll be able to bring that car from the Clash and use it later on down the road. But that gives after the Clash, you get 2 weeks. You get 2 weeks. You get a week and a half away from the Daytona duel. And then that will set up the qualifying, obviously, after that for the Daytona 500. And then the official NASCAR season can begin. But in terms of news for today that I talked about, guys, SMI buying Dover Motorsports, with Dover and Nashville now being part of Speedway Motorsports Incorporated company. And then we talked about the Busch Clash at the Coliseum and the format. And now I will have more NASCAR news, because there have been NASCAR news more announced today that I will not be able to get into this video. So make sure you check that video out when it comes out tomorrow. It will be about Front Row Motorsports and them staying a 2-car team but letting a certain driver go. Will it be Michael Vidal or will it be Anthony Alfredo? You'll find that out tomorrow in the afternoon. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Please do like this video on Instagram, share it with your friends. I'm trying to grow on my page, but anyway, guys, I will see you guys all later. Peace.